Monster and
Monster Chick. You're watching History and Headlines with Granny Monster and the crew.
always remember to create, not hate.
History a lot smoother.
And headlines easy to read.
Well, I decided to go with something Mexican for the historical facts because it's been in the news lately. A lot of unfortunate stuff going on down there, but this is actually pretty neat if you actually read into Cinco de Mayo, which is just the date of the battle. It was the Battle of Puebla, excuse me, in 1862. I believe it was either during or right after our Civil War. And we couldn't actually give the Mexicans any munitions or help because we were having a civil war at the same time. So they were pretty much on their own, and it was quite possibly the greatest military upset in world history. So I just think it's something that folks need to look into because it's what actually happened was pretty amazing at the Battle of Puebla. Is these are reenactments, by the way. They reenact it every year, and literally you had a bunch of natives with machetes attacking an imperial army with cannons and guns and all sorts of stuff. And they pushed the French all the way back to the ocean, which like I said, it was quite possibly the biggest military upset in world history. You know, you don't just jump out of the bush with a bunch of machetes and beat back an imperial army, one of the best armies of the day. You know, France was no joke back in the day, and they really wanted Mexico, and it just wasn't working out for them. And these are reenactment photos, I guess, on YouTube. But I want not on YouTube, but on Google. But I wanted to kind of share that with you because I thought it was absolutely fascinating. That kind of an epic battle, the underdog, winning this huge, fight. It happened just south of us, man. That's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. Then, of course, after we were done with our Civil War, we gave them, I guess Lincoln gave them some munitions to kind of help mop up the rest. But they did end up defeating the French, and this battle was pretty big. And the French that weren't completely wiped out were driven back to the sea. So there's that. Anyway, I just thought that was fascinating, and I wanted to share. And it's a big deal because it is a big deal. So, and it is definitely something you want to celebrate. Anyway, congratulations to the Mexicans for being one of the many countries on earth to beat the fire out of the French and creating one of the greatest military upsets in world history in the process. I always thought that was fascinating. Is that aloe plants on the battlefield right there? That's interesting. Anyway, I digress. Thanks for watching. You have a wonderful day. I'll see you all on the flip side, and I am out.
Now, here's a little story that I bet you might not know about. We all think that Waterloo was Napoleon's biggest snafu, but what about rabbits? That's right. Rabbits almost took Napoleon down. In July of 1807, this 19th century ruler had just signed a treaty. Now, the description for this article is going to be down below. You can actually look up Napoleon attacked by rabbits, and there are several articles out there, but this seemed to be the most fun one. So do take a look at it for yourself. It is a part of our Funny Bunny history, okay? And basically, after signing this treaty, Napoleon was, well, Napoleon. And he went to his cook and he said, "Listen, cook, I want to celebrate this shindig all out. And you know, one of my favorite dishes is rabbit." Okay? So the cook then went about and gathered, well, some stories will say 300 rabbits, other stories say 3,000 rabbits. Now, I think probably the 3,000 rabbits might be a slight exaggeration. I'm really not old enough to have been there myself, contrary to popular belief. So, after gathering this many rabbits and such, it was quite a sight, of course, and they were going to release the rabbits into the field, and then they were going to have a great hunt, and they were going to all cook later the rabbits and consume them. Okay? Now, we all think of rabbits as being these cuddly, fluffy little creatures that are very timid. Should you walk up upon them, they bounce right away. However, these rabbits were to be reckoned with, okay? Maybe they were part of the Warner Brothers Bugs Bunny precursors. We really don't know, do we? However, once the rabbits were released, instead of being timid and trying to run away and become part of the hunt, these rabbits became part of a collective and went for the reckoning. And several of them actually attacked Napoleon. How about that? Yeah. So crazy, crazy bunnies almost took down a very powerful, although short, man. For history and headlines, I am your ever faithful Granny Monster. Back to you, Action Gal, and your team. Thanks for watching.